The restaurant chandelier cast a golden glow across Sarah's face as she finally admitted the truth, her voice barely audible over the ambient piano music. "I'm sorry, I can't afford a Valentine's dinner," she confessed, eyes fixed on the tablecloth, shame coloring her cheeks. Across from her, Michael's expression shifted, not with disappointment as she expected, but with something else entirely. If you've ever felt the crushing weight of financial embarrassment or wondered if honesty really is the best policy, this story might just restore your faith in human connection. Stay with us until the end to discover how one moment of vulnerability changed two lives forever. If you're enjoying stories that remind us of what truly matters in life, please consider hitting that like button and subscribing to our channel for more heartwarming content that cuts through the noise of everyday cynicism. Sarah hadn't wanted to go on a blind date on Valentine's Day of all days, but her well-meaning sister wouldn't take no for an answer. "You've been buried in work since the layoff," Jen had insisted. "Michael is a great guy, Emma's brother-in-law. Just give him a chance." What her sister failed to mention was that the restaurant he'd suggested had entrees that cost more than Sarah's current daily food budget. Michael Carter had spent the morning helping his 7-year-old daughter Emma make Valentine's cards for her classmates. After his wife's death 3 years ago, he'd learned to navigate holidays with forced cheerfulness for Emma's sake, while ignoring the hollow ache in his chest. This blind date was his first attempt at something for himself in years, arranged by his sister-in-law who worried about his isolation. The awkwardness that followed Sarah's confession hung between them like a physical thing. Michael's menu remained unopened. "Can I tell you something?" he finally said, leaning forward. "I've been dreading this date all week." "Not because of you," he quickly added, seeing her expression fall further. "It's just, Valentine's Day feels like this enormous pressure. All these expectations about romance and perfection when real life is so much messier than that." Sarah's eyes lifted to meet his, surprise replacing embarrassment. "Exactly. It's like we're all supposed to pretend money isn't an issue and that romantic love conquers all," she said, her voice gaining strength. "I lost my marketing job 3 months ago. I'm doing freelance work while job hunting, and I should have just been honest from the start." "I appreciate honesty more than anything," Michael replied, closing his menu decisively. "So here's my counter-proposal for this evening, let's get out of here." 20 minutes later, they were sitting on a park bench sharing a box of grocery store sushi and a bottle of reasonably priced wine, watching the sunset paint the sky in valentines of pink and gold. Michael told her about his daughter, about becoming a single parent at 33, about learning to French braid hair by watching YouTube tutorials. Sarah shared her dreams of starting her own marketing consultancy, her fear of failure, and her secret talent for terrible karaoke. "Emma's with my parents tonight," Michael explained. "I usually make her heart-shaped pancakes for Valentine's Day. She insists they taste better than regular ones." "They absolutely do," Sarah agreed with mock seriousness. "It's scientific fact." As night fell and the temperature dropped, Michael hesitantly offered Sarah his jacket. "This is so cliché," she laughed, but accepted it gratefully. Their conversation flowed easily, punctuated by comfortable silences that felt like old friendship rather than first-date awkwardness. When Michael invited Sarah to join him and Emma for heart-shaped pancakes the next morning, she surprised herself by saying yes. The look of genuine delight on his face made something flutter in her chest that had nothing to do with romantic expectations and everything to do with simple human connection. Emma took to Sarah immediately, impressed by her ability to cut pancakes into perfect hearts and her extensive knowledge of princess movies. By March, their weekend brunches had become a regular tradition. By summer, Sarah had launched her marketing consultancy with Michael's encouragement, with him becoming her first client for his architectural firm. Their love story wasn't about grand gestures or expensive dinners. It grew in the spaces between responsibilities, built on a foundation of honesty and understanding. When Michael proposed a year later, it wasn't on Valentine's Day but on an ordinary Tuesday while doing dishes together after Emma had gone to bed. The most romantic thing anyone ever did for me, Sarah later told her sister, was listen when I said I couldn't afford an expensive dinner, and then show me that the best things in life truly are free. In a world that often measures love by price tags and performances, sometimes the greatest gift we can offer another person is the space to be authentically themselves. Not perfect, not polished, but real. Because real love doesn't need reservations at fancy restaurants or heart-shaped boxes of chocolate. Real love begins with honest words, even the difficult ones. I'm sorry, I can't afford a Valentine's dinner. Perhaps in your own life, you've discovered that vulnerability, that terrifying moment of showing someone who you really are, can be the doorway to the deepest connections. Or perhaps that moment is still waiting for you, just around the corner, ready to change everything. The greatest love stories aren't the ones with perfect people and picture-perfect moments. They're the ones where two imperfect people choose each other, day after day, creating beauty from the broken pieces of their lives. They're about finding someone who sees your truth and stays anyway. Someone who makes space for all of you, your struggles, your dreams, your heart-shaped pancakes on ordinary mornings. And isn't that, after all, what we're all searching for?